Testicles, 1, 2, 3. Testicles, 1, 2, 3. Or is it testing? I don't know. This is the Black Jester Matters podcast, episode 27, I think. February 17, 2020. 327 o'clock, or 0327. That's interesting. If this was March, that would be very interesting. So weird with my teeth, my tongue. Okay, what do we have here? Okay. So the Black Jester Matter podcast. I'm the Black Jester, Gulak Budai. By my real name, you'd understand why I need a pseudonym for pronunciation purposes. And the fact that the initials are B and J, it's just great. I mean, who doesn't want a BJ, right? If you don't want a BJ, what does that make you, huh? Well, not even a fag. I mean, really, they want them too. Big buy, I'd like them twice, I guess. I guess it just doesn't matter. Mouth to mouth. That's what they say. Anyway, while I horrify. Alright, it shows a McLaughlin thing, but I just picked a video. Might want to watch that later. But my interest is showing you how you could eventually get the YouTube algorithm to play ball. I might actually show you that Gab extension as well. Maybe leave a link. But first things first, I'll go to the browser. What you'll see it if you're here, right? If you're watching the video part, but maybe I'll describe it well enough to help you use it. So right here, what we see here is Al Franklin on Trump, and we can guess what he's saying. On the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, well, I have no interest in being suggested Jimmy Kimmel Live and mainstream shit. So I go to this tab with 3 lines, or horizontally. No, sorry, vertically. Vertically, and it's this cross with X, and it says not interested. I pick not interested. It says tell us why. I pick tell us why. I guess I go, I do not like this video. If I've seen it, you can click. If you've seen it, you can click, I already saw this video. And this YouTube, maybe you see this video or something, and you here to make this better. If your algorithm is so fucking good, how come you don't know what I've watched already or not? That's such a hard thing. Anyway, you pick your reason on Tell Us Why, and you hit submit. And you do this enough, eventually you get less and less of it. As you can see, I do have very little. I mean, there's a Stephen Colbert thing. On this browser, it seems to be a little different, like it's in the cache or something. Or the cookie, specific to the browser. Once again, do not like this video. I mean, nothing is Colbert, my papa's brother, but he's a tool, but it was crazy. They're actually suggesting a video I'm actually watching. It says up next. Maybe they double uploaded. This is a shorter version. I don't know. Oh, an extra. Oh, that's weird. The Clocking Group should learn how to use paywalls. Holy shit, they don't even have a join button yet. You should listen to the McLaughlin Group. It's a lot better. It's old school shit. even Eleanor Clift isn't a total asshole. I mean, you actually see left-wingers with that are old school enough that they'll actually talk to right-wingers, and Pat Buchanan, who's probably more libertarian, actually, in my point of view, but I mean, not in his point of view. He seems to think he's more conservative than he is. But I mean, no way a conservative would have. No way in hell a conservative would have. Well, you know, he just doesn't do. Conservative. He wouldn't have been so nice to a gay employee. I mean, his sister might be conservative. I don't know, but he's certainly not a conservative. I mean, he's liberal enough to be very fond of equal opportunity in his actions, not necessarily. Oh, there's CNN trying to shove shit on my fucking feet. Let's tell them why I do not like this video. Submit. So eventually, it is a much less than it used to be. So this has worked a little bit with the algorithm. You have to be a little vigilant because they try to sneak them through. What I also done as in my YouTube is, wouldn't it make more sense to promote and boost the viability of channels that have very little subscriptions and very little, and that are even, whether new or old or whatever. I mean, some might have slid down a bit and stuff like that. You think a leftist would have thought that, like, well, we should really try to find a way to equally distribute the viewership? It shows that they're probably not totally leftists there. They're just tools. Or they're trying to play some weird game. It's weird. Facebook did not show me if Peppy can't post these yearly. And this page didn't show a Facebook. What the Whoa, what's this crap? I didn't click on the hill. YouTube does that shit sometimes. That's something YouTube should look up. Anyhow, before I get on to Liz Vicious's situation, I'm gonna go here. Show you how to. If you go to gab.com, you can certainly get to the app thing there. On the front page, there is Gab apps. And I'll show you this app that also says it does this sort of thing now. It's a de-mainstream your YouTube extension. And if you, apparently, if you use this, extension, it'll de-mainstream. I haven't tried it. I use my little manual method right now, but I might try it at some point. But, you know, if you want to try it and see if it works, mention it in the comments if it worked well for you. Apparently, when it's, I use it and toggle it. Now in the Dissenter browser, my OBS software won't pick up the tabs on the Dissenter browser. Another folly of Brave system, but it works with Brave, Dissenter, and Google Chrome. And you can pick what channels to hide from. That's an interesting thing, actually. CBC, that's something to block off. It's interesting. I had a thing at the BBC when I was running for mayor in 2018. And the guy there, he was very pleasant to me, but he was also blocking me on Twitter. That's a weird thing. I found out about it, but I was just going to follow him. That's hilarious. Oh, man. I'm going to keep that there, so I could probably put it in the description if I can. Yeah, that's interesting for later. So on my Instagram. Oh yeah, something to bring up to Instagram. I suspect Instagram is selling our the user's email addresses. I know this because I use a forwarding address for Instagram setup. It has I'm not going to say what the email address is, although now I might as well change it to catch them again. But um, yeah, I use a specific type of username on my own domain to see, and I do this with everybody. It's not a personal thing. I just, at least most of the time, I remember to do it. And the only thing that's popped up is Instagram so far. The Instagram email I use, and apparently they've been selling off emails. And I guess maybe I could complain to the FTC because I never asked for banning email options. So shame on you, Facebook and Instagram. Now, Liz Vicious, this lovely free speech loving goth chick, and see, here's the thing, but Gab also, this specific rule is not allowing user generated porn. Like she couldn't like have the video play here, or it's really just insertion. Um, she couldn't like upload a video or something. That would be it. I mean, she can link her profile information where it is available. That's not against the rules. So, more drama and hysteria. Fucking weak Will Habley. Alright, and anyway, whatever you think of porn and stuff like that, I mean, how do you ever expect these girls to decide to do something else if they can't make a living, I mean, with their drop boxes on their own individually? I mean, you're basically forcing them into the cartel group of porn, which is worse, where they can't do it on their own, and they're basically owned to organized crime and stuff like that. I mean, they're trying to make it on their own. Possibly, who knows what they'll do after that. But anyway, these drop are largely historical stuff, like stuff they've done in the past, and you can't undo that. They may as well make a living off of it. I mean, it's their business, their right to. They're consenting adults. And here's the thing: she was selling these drop boxes with her work and stuff like that, and helping. And one of her business partners, I guess. And then this is what happens. Happens with PayPal and stuff like that. Largely because, credit card companies are very prudish. Google Pay is fucking me. This is on December 15th, 2019. I should have got to this earlier, but I kept forgetting. But I actually tried to help her out a few times, telling her about Brighteon, where she can put a paywall up, and lbry.tv. She's got something on there too. I'll try to put that on there. I'm not sure if I don't know if she's got a Brighteon on there yet. We can search this name there and check. But yeah. Ow, Google is fucking me. Your account was closed, and it says, this is what Google says to her, in quotes. Your account was closed because there was activity in your Google Pay account that does not comply with Google Pay's terms of service, especially interactions related to adult goods and services. She says, I really do not want to hear about how I am begging for money. The simple fact I I can't live on just OnlyFans and Pornhub. I'm now banned on PayPal, Cash App, and Google Pay for transactions related to adult goods and services. Whatever you think of her and this poor girl, I mean, I got over here too. Basically calling out Jeremy there for the fact he hasn't picked up on this either. I guess he was being so high and mighty about Gab, not loving porn and stuff like that. And, I mean, really, the reason I follow porn stars is because I figure stuff like this will happen, and I'm interested in it, in that factor. I want to defend them. A lot of them I can't focus on everything, and I usually don't get around to everything. But she's a nice girl and all. It's crazy. I mean, she's put some videos about PayPal and stuff like that. About where's my money and stuff like that. And that video was about her saying "suck it" to PayPal. Now I can't quit PayPal. It may be a grand gesture, but the thing about this stuff is like, pardon me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Belching like crazy all of a sudden. Pardon me, man. I'm a man. Whatever. I'm just belching up some of those toxic byproducts of my toxic masculinity. That causes me to follow porn stars and concerned that they too will be censored or whatever. It's an expression censorship. It's different from speech censorship, I guess. That's usually what they separate the two from. Like Gab being a conversation platform. It's not a video platform or the many porn platforms. But those poor girls just trying to do something. She's trying to make a living. How she does it may be distasteful to some people, and some people do overindulge in it, but fuck them. Their mothers failed them clearly, so they obsess with the stuff and then they buy it. Why is she at fault? Because some suckers are born every minute, as Canada Bill said. I gotta find that joke. As a riverboat gambler once said, very famously. His nickname was Canada Bill, which wouldn't be worth much right now. Well, actually, the bill might be worth something right now because to collectors. So we just got a coin now. Because we're going back to that old British way. By the way, if anyone ever says that democracy is the British tradition, they're lying. The British tradition actually is civil service, which they're trying to build up in the United States to take over and stuff like that. Canada's starting to double up on civil service more and more. That's government growth. Growing government is all the British thing. The British monarchy basically holds itself together by using the British civil service. It's a brilliant tactic. It's a way to subvert democracy. You know who runs election departments? Civil servants. So how would you expect a libertarian to get justice in a system like that? A campaign like that, or even conservative, who's actually serious about cutting government. Seriously, you expect the civil service to maybe not shave a few points off their score? How many libertarians do you think might have actually won if the civil service union didn't have a buddy system within the election office? I'm not saying don't vote. I say you show up, vote as much as you can for libertarians, because that will scare the shit out of them, even if they do change the votes a bit. it's still important that they're scared to death that you're paying attention. Showing up and doing that grand gesture is just enough. But yeah, it goes to ancient Greece and stuff like that, and the tradition's old. Ancient Sumeria might have had something like that too. I haven't read all the cuneiform, but it's certainly possible. So that's her scenario. Yeah, and if you're into porn, you might want to do her a favor and contact her, DM her, or email her and ask to get these drop boxes of hers. That's my Instagram, by the way. Have a BJ. And who doesn't want to have a BJ, right? So yeah, keeps you informed about my satire stuff, my election stuff, and my podcast images. Assuming I still capable of making them, making captions anyway that are appropriate enough to be different from just swiping shit. Oh, that's a good one. Lots of interesting stuff. It's been down for a while. Some of somebody else's stuff too that's rather funny. Like this thing. This was so deserving of spreading around. I love the guy's somewhere here I have his oh yeah, there is his Twitter right by the image. So you might want to follow the guy who created that, or at least he first posted it. So I assume he That's all my election shit. My doggy. Got some doggy shots too. Got a nice German Shepherd fella. He's a good friend. I keep that up there. I can go back to him occasionally. I'm dutifully wearing my button. Even though he probably wouldn't have voted for me, because my German Shepherd, he thinks if I'm gone for 5 minutes, I'm gone for a year, so he would not want me to go to the Capitol for even 5 seconds. It's always sweet to see them when you get back, though. So, yeah. So we got Michael Averetti, the Averetti bunny, or the Averetti who, yeah, I guess he'll have to dress like a bunny and take it up the ass for a while right now, because apparently this is InfoWars, so take it for its worth. It looks like at least what Toobin would probably feel like. Maybe a satirical article, I don't know, but I feel kind of snookered because I took him seriously. See, when CNN's Toobin, if CNN Toobin did say that, I should run a search, actually. Anybody can do that, of course, but wait for that search to fill. Tell you what, CNN's Jeffrey Toobin lamented over the fact that lawyer Michael Averetti, now convicted a felon, appeared on CNN a lot, and that he felt snookered for actually taking him seriously as a possible Democratic 2020 candidate. I don't know, he could still probably do it. They believe in prisoners' rights, don't they? God, imagine if that shit happens. Actually trying to seek the nomination while in prison. Oh, a lot of them should be in prison. Orange Man, bad. I don't think he's perfect, but shit. This guy was judging him? Really, he actually went back to jail before his conviction because he was caught fucking switching money around bank accounts illegally while he was on bail. Can you believe us? The guy just can't stop committing crime. That's in this article actually, in the San Francisco Today article. I guess I'll have to link that too. Might be worth reading on it. CNN streaming feels snookered. Toobin shareheads publicly seeking Averetti irresponsible. Mediate.com publicly seeking Averetti's irresponsible Kavanaugh claim is garbage. Whoa, he actually said that. Toobin shows publicity seeking Averetti irresponsible. Wow. Jeffrey Toobin is also a little more old school, so I guess he's going to be more intellectually honest as far as a lot of them go. Because I remember that guy, he was like, he didn't have gray hair yet. So back in the 90s. He had some credibility back then. Wow. He actually defended Kavanaugh. That must have not have been an easy thing to do in his situation. I feel snookered. Okay, that was on The Hill. Oh, The Hill published this thing. So look at that. InfoWars actually produced an article that was, legitimate, basically. Isn't that surprising? It's legitimate as The Hill is, anyway. Of course, they should probably give The Hill some props. InfoWars should have linked back to this thing. I don't know what we have learned today. 6-year ago. 6-year-old finds a note and $100 at a grocery store. It says, "Whoever finds this, I love you." It looks like a clickbait article, but not really Fox News, but shit. I bet. You know, some people might think 100 says I love you, but I think it's 1,000 is probably about that right. I don't know. I wish I could say I'm all about money. That would fit the narrative about a libertarian, but an envelope full of my liberty, that might be. Oh yeah, China. What are the chances they poison that fish with the same virus the moment they realize their weaponized coronavirus escaped the lab? I mean, really. I mean, either way, it's pretty bad. I mean, I swear, I think they wanted to. I'm not gonna link that one. I'm on silence voice, by the way. I really don't think that they will. I really don't think there was any oops involved. Well, in making this thing, I think if it really is this bad, actually, I mean, it could be they're making it look worse so they can grab a few political prisoners while everyone's distracted with the virus. That's also possible. But either way, there's some nefarious crap going on with China. And I say, why not treat them like you treat Iran? In fact, Iran's not even as bad as China. I don't give a fuck about their stupid theocracies. If you're going to punish them for a theocracy, you should punish Israel, England, the Netherlands, all these countries where the head of state is the head of the church there, basically speaking. Established state religion. It's against the U.S. Constitution as far as I understand. I guess Canada might be in trouble for that one too. But we basically have a Anglican Pope as head of state, and we got a Catholic majority. Talk about oppression. It's ridiculous. You know, colonialism is actually a legitimate thing in Canada still because that queen is still around. It's not a legitimate thing if you're talking America. I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, I would say the heritage, the Interior Department should be removed, and they should be establishing municipalities out of the reservations and stuff like that, and making them true free members of the states. Not treating them like outcasts. They've been given enough of the problem as it is, and Canada should do the same thing in the Indian Act, in the hereditary rule that they're forced to live under in many places, in many areas, and allow them to have independent municipalities. And you can even say, no segregation. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a huge problem with the idea that people are so big on segregation lately. What were all those civil rights things about, if not ending segregation? I understand not forcing integration. That's a whole other thing, and that's probably what you probably don't want to do. You want to encourage it. I don't. I think it's very dangerous when we try to separate ourselves based on. I'm a Magyar, and we usually do the opposite. Our community is centered in Vancouver. It's open like once a week. I mean, it's we're not ashamed of what we are, I guess. A lot of people are confused of what we are. I mean, Hungarians are kind of a mixed bag sometimes because some of them are like Germanic, and some of them are because they escaped their lands and stuff like that when he made the mistake of letting them in. And also, we fucked a lot of them along the way. That's why I look like this. The Mudgers are kind of a funny thing. Like, they'd look like, when we came into Asia, we started fucking the populace nearby and started looking different nearby. Oh, Darren Jones stand-up. I missed that already. So Darren Jones speak truth about berry strippers. Yeah, so, God, he's a cute dog. It's got my button. It looks so good on him. That was a hard training job. He got fucked up big time early on. He had these chain link fence things around his neck when I got him. Didn't even know what to make of that thing. I'd never seen it before. I was like, fuck, someone junk your dog, my German Shepherd. What kind of idiot does that sort of thing? Shoshin's not such a bad thing, scheme of things. Not at all. I mean, it's, you really, it just takes a light, flinch of the wrist, and he just gets noticed. Really, that neck, you're not going to do much of that neck unless you chain link it, I guess. But treated him like a damn werewolf or something. Well, I'm not sure werewolves would be so bad if they were real. I think it'd be like any other sentient, with the loyalty of a dog. I mean, hopefully not because I figure hopefully that wouldn't be as out of control about their feeding frenzies because, but I'm sure they'd learn some sort of restraint. What a lovely twink he is too. So, I should cover my look at the screen first before I start grabbing for my lapel. I just looked at the screen because I realized I've grabbed my mic by accident. So, yeah, China, fuck them. I mean, they're spreading disease on top of censorship abroad. They're manipulating culture abroad. They're doing so many horrible things. Really, I mean, how are you going to consider it? And I get kind of Japanese companies' points, like Nintendo and stuff. Like they're bothered by the idea of being able to do business in China because, one, anyone who likes doing business with China knows who to bribe, and they worked hard to gain those connections. They're not doing it there for as slave labor and knowing and getting special treatment because they know who to bribe. Usually, the more government you have, the more people you can find to bribe. That tends to be the big factor in the whole thing. So, what but I get the problem because there's also the idea that they probably want to fly products over it, and they probably think they'll be shot down. And I don't know, they could just fly it over the United States, I guess. Maybe make it closer. I'm not saying in the United States or Canada, but they probably could do it in Germany, wherever I mean, there are a lot of places out there in the world. They don't have to rely on China. So, yeah. So that's the whole gimmick, I guess. Yeah, so they're dizzying the world and trying to manipulate culture around worldwide. They really don't have the buying power. I don't see them as having the buying power because basically you have to have high social credit points, meaning you have to be a very high-ranking member of the Communist Party to really have the money to buy anything. The lower you are on the total ball, the freer you are, in fact, the less buying power you're going to have. And God bless those people